Federal Baptist Church to say goodbye.
Lord, we thank you that this day we can come to you for comfort.
Harvey Lucas's doctor feels Lucas died of acute radiation exposure. Lucas served in the Navy from 1956 to 1960. Most of that time he spent on a waste barge that removed radioactive waste from the Brookhaven labs in New York.
This highly volatile substance with plutonium in it was taken out to sea, my understanding, about 10 miles off the coast and dumped right out in front of New York Harbor. By his death, it's quite evident in genetically affected children that Mr. Lucas was highly affected by this.
As the Lucas family and friends wept at graveside, the government doesn't think the exposure caused Lucas's death. The Veterans Administration would not help Lucas with his pain. Barbara Lucas says she hopes her husband's death will spur the U.S. government to own up to its responsibility.
It just hasn't been my husband. It's been many, many vets that's went over and said, hey, I got a problem, man, help me. And they've turned their back on their own men that joined up and joined the service, that love their country.
We just think it's very important to keep this in the public eye and to let the people know that their government has and is getting away with murder, and there's no other word for it.
When my husband, the day before he died, he asked me, honey, keep fighting this, and I will, for him and the other vets.
At Fort Logan Cemetery, John Bowman, 7 News.
The Veterans Coalition has plans to establish a Harvey Lucas account at a local bank. The fund will help the Lucas family repay medical bills and pay for the care of his children.
Hi, I'm Barbara Lucas. I'm here to tell you about a love story, the man I married. It started out August the 3rd, 1960. I went with my aunt to visit my uncle. Little did I know I'd meet the man I was going to marry. Got on the boat and was going down the gangway, and here come a Navy guy, a Navy guy, and he said, could he help me down the gangway? And the typical young lady that I was at 19 said, yeah. He noticed green fingernail polish, and I said, no, I'm not mildewing. I had a dress that was kind of a avocado green, so I had to have it to match the dress. He was already off the boat, came back because he broke his shoelaces. So he decided to go to the party they were having for changing captains of Calhoun County 519. I went with my aunt and uncle, and little did I know, across the table, in the corner, was Harvey R. Lucas. I kept looking at it. His eyes just seemed like it was like, oh, I love you, girl. I'm too scared to come up. So for some unknown reason, my uncle noticed that I was staring at him and he was staring at me. So my uncle Georgie went up and said, Harvey, go ask my niece to dance. He came over and he said, can I have this dance and step on your feet? And I said, sure. We proceeded to dance. Well, it wound up to be the whole evening. We stepped out of the club where the party was, and he was trying to show me the New York Bridge. I thought, oh mercy, I met this guy for the first time. I better get back where I feel like I'm safe. But he was a typical gentleman. We went back, and he gave me a kiss, and right before I got in my Aunt Bonnie's car, he asked me to marry him. 3 months and 4 days later, we was married. He even gave me a cigar band. My kids say to this day, you were crazy. I said, but you know when it's the right one. So he'd come home on different leaves because I live in Levittown, Pennsylvania, and he was stationed in New York. He came back down and we'd see each other. And he says, I'm going to ask your father for your hand in marriage. I was very scared because my father was a very big man, and Harvey was not a big man. And I thought, oh boy. So we went looking for rings, and I remember we went to Trenton, New Jersey. Barbie, you pick whatever one you want. He didn't even look at the cost. And of course me, I guess I was, the biggest don't count. You have to go with your heart. And I found one that I wanted. In the process of that, we got a necklace that was a star. Had it all planned that I was going to marry this man come June. So here come September, went into October, and my father had pumpkin patch. And I knew what Harvey was going to tell my father. I was in the kitchen just pacing floors with my mother, and he said, Head, I'd like to have your daughter's hand in marriage. Aren't those pretty pumpkins? Well, he never really said yes or no, and you're kind of rushing it. Well, he said, hold, I got a ring. First thing out of my father's mouth was, he got that in a Cracker Barrel. He got that in Cracker Jack box. Broke my heart, but my dad had a thing, if he could make you cry, it made his day. So we had it planned to be married June, sometime in June, to be a June bride. Well, Harvey got off the boat 3 months early, and we decided we were going to get married sooner. So we went to my father and said, come on, you know, let us get married. Oh no, people talk. People say you had to get married. We said, Daddy, I don't care what anybody thinks. I love the man. We decided, since my father was against us getting married, we eloped on November the 7th, 1960. I come to Denver November the 8th. November the 7th, we went to Trenton, New Jersey. You had to be 21 in Pennsylvania to get married. In Trenton, New Jersey, you had to be 18. So we eloped and came to Denver, Colorado, November the 8th, 1960. In the process, my father even said I was being held against my will, petrified. Here come a big old Denver officer, and I'm shaking in my boots. We had to show our marriage license. But then after that, we had a lovely marriage. We had 5 children, 4 alive, and 1 passed away. Each child has a birth defect from the radiation my husband was exposed to. But through all, we went the trials and tribulations of children and life and marriage. I wouldn't have given up for the world. In 1980, he was told he had bones of a 95-year-old man. We were just dumbstruck. But at the time, he was not being allowed to talk about what he did in the military on Calhoun County 519. Little did we know, down the road, in 1984, he woke up one night crying. He said, Barbara, I feel like somebody has stabbed me. Well, we had no insurance. I got up and I said, no, I will watch the 2 smaller children. Your son will take you to the doctor. We was told he had an 11-pound tumor. Little did we know, 1 year later, in 1985, June the 17th, 1985, it took his life. He begged me, and it was me and him the day before he died. Will you prove the government killed me? I don't want to die. I wanted so much to be able to change things, and I couldn't. But I made a promise to him I would prove that the government killed him. Never got VA benefits, although they always said we overwhelmed them with too much evidence. I finished raising a child that was retarded. And I raised another daughter, and she had to grow up fast. It's not fair. I'm here to see, somehow, be passionate, and I'd love to tell the story more to you in more details, because it was a man that gave his life for his country. And I will do this till the day I die, because what he went through and what military men go through It's not fair when you go for benefits and they say, take a number, fool, we'll make sure we don't give you anything. I have one in the federal district court, and they're still telling me, you got to go back. 3 federal judges approved it, and they're still sitting. Someone's got to speak out, and this is what this book or movie or both, I hope and pray, will make VA and our government to wake up and do things for our American boys that serve their country. If you need any more information, I will be glad to talk to you anytime, night or day, because I believe with what I'm saying is true. And I want it to be told. A man died for his country, and he should have never died under the circumstances. He was worried about how I was going to survive with 2 more kids and all the medical bills. But you know what? I paid him. But I'm not done. I will stand by what I believe in to help the American vets no matter what. Again, I'm Barbara Lucas, 7420 Chase Drive, Arvada, Colorado, 80003. My phone number is 303-426-7167. Again, 303-426-7167. Have a great day. Look forward to talking to you.
They laid Harvey Lucas to rest today at Fort Logan National Cemetery. There were no military honors. Family and friends gathered for the service. Members of the Colorado Atomic Agent Orange Veterans Coalition were there. Harvey's wife, Barbara, said goodbye to the man she married 24 years ago. Harvey Lucas was in the Navy from 1956 to 1960. He was stationed on a ship that hauled radioactive waste out of New York and then dumped it at sea. Harvey Lucas died Monday at age 47 of cancer. Members of the Colorado Atomic Agent Orange Veterans Coalition think that Harvey Lucas's cancer may have been caused by radiation.
They were not warned of what they were, the dangers they were involved in.
John Burke heads the group of veterans who claim damage from exposure to atomic tests or Agent Orange. He says the government denies Lucas was exposed to toxic substances.
Mr. Lucas was on a ship. He was sleeping. His bunk was about 3 feet away from where some of this radioactive material was. He had no breathing gear, no protective clothing, no nothing. They may have issued him a pair of gloves if he was lucky, but I don't think gloves are going to stop radiation too much.
And over the years that we were married, he'd say, Mama, I hurt. Barbara, I hurt.
Barbara Lucas says her husband learned 6 years ago that he had the bones of a 96-year-old. She says the government denied Lucas disability pension.
And he just wanted help. I said he fought for his country, and yet his country turned his face and walked away and did absolutely nothing.
What will you remember most about your husband?
The winkle of the eye, how he loved people, how he loved America, never once bitter for what they did to him.